So it seems like literally every day, Kanye West is in the news based off of his Instagram activity. Who is he exposing? What is he ranting about? What text messages or private or sensitive information is he releasing? And today he is still in the news based off of Instagram, but it ain't because of what he's posting. It's about the fact that he's been banned from Instagram, where in which he won't be able to post, comment, or send DMs. And this has been confirmed by a Meta employee. A spokesperson actually came forward and informed the public that Kanye's behavior actually violated the company's policy on hate speech, harassment, and bullying. So Kanye has really been going hard, going in and at Kim Kardashian, Pete Davidson, North being on TikTok, Charlemagne the God, Hillary Clinton, Hughley, and honestly, that's just to name a few. But I want to get into what exactly triggered this 24-hour ban that Kanye West has to deal with. Now, y'all know things are always sticky in Hollywood and in real life. And before I get into elaborating and unpacking this viral event and really having a critical dialogue about connecting the times, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel and hit thumbs up on this video. It's free and I appreciate it. So let's get into what triggered Kanye West getting suspended off of Instagram for 24 hours. So on March 16th, Kanye woke up and per usual, he chose violence, quite literally firing off at 5 different people in less than a 2-hour span across 7 different posts. Now, again, the Trevor Noah thing really threw it over the edge because Kanye actually hurled a racial slur at Trevor Noah 5 times in one sentence in this Instagram post. Now, let's take a look at this post over on Instagram. So what we have here is a Google image search. We can see that Kanye West, he grabbed a screenshot of Trevor Noah from Google, and let's get into the caption. So Kanye West types all in together now, and he starts typing out the lyrics to this song, Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my lord, is a song that all of us have heard. I have it on the screen, and we can see the spelling. It's nothing like the way that Kanye West was able to mix and scramble around the spelling of Kumbaya to fit his narrative of calling Trevor Noah a coon. So he weaponized this song, right? Because there's no malice, there's no racial digs or undertones of disrespect within the song, but he used this again in order to insult Trevor Noah 5 times in one sentence. Now, for all intents and purposes, the utilization of the word coon in this video is not meant to be hate speech, nor is it targeted towards any group or individual. This is me providing educational content and commentary while also providing some historical context to the origin of the word, how and why the application of such verbiage can be harmful. So isn't this really interesting? This man of God, which I find a lot of that for Kanye West to be virtue signaling. How do you weaponize a song towards your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, Kumbaya, my Lord, and you use that in order to insult another black person, and the slur that you hurled at them is actually a very anti-black slur? Kanye West, make it make sense.
Was gone.
Let me just go in the bush and weep. Let me just go in the bush and weep. I just have to go in the bush and weep. Really. I don't understand. I swear to God, I don't understand.
But I want to know from you down below in the comments, how do you feel about Kanye West weaponizing this song? And this being that incident that actually got his Instagram frozen for 24 hours. And might I add, Instagram also went ahead and made it known that if he continues to violate their terms and services, they may go ahead and remove him from the platform. Let's keep it sticky and real down below in the comments and let me know, what are your thoughts about this? So now that we done got through talking about Kanye West and what he did or said in order to land himself in 24-hour Instagram jail, I want to use this as an opportunity to have a bigger discussion about how we utilize the term coon present day and how much different it is from the way that the term was derived. All right, following Kanye West around will have you losing brain cells. So let's save these brain cells and really have this discussion down below in the comments. I'm really interested to hear what you all think, right? So let's really unpack the slur, the term coon. Obviously, it is a shortened term of the word raccoon. It correlates us to animals, which is really a common theme in history in general. If you want to be disparaging towards a black person, just call them animalistic or find some way to connect them with animals, right? And in present day, when we use the term coon, we are classifying someone as a sellout. And a lot of times when we think about a sellout towards black people, the black community, what black people are working towards, we think about people like Terry Crews. We think about people like Samuel L. Jackson's character in Django. We think about Stacey Dash. Hell, we might think about the dancing gorilla or the grooving gorilla. This man literally named himself that, willfully demeaned himself and classifying himself as a gorilla based off of the way that he entertains non-black people. We're going to get into that in a second, but these are some of the people that you may think about when you think about somebody who is a sellout, which we use sellout and coon interchangeably in the black community, despite the anti-black origin of the term. So, you know, when we also talk about a sellout, right, is to keep it simple, to keep it a buck, it is somebody who really disassociates from being black. They barely claim it or want to acknowledge it. They worship or align themselves with white and or non-blacks and or anti-black people and practices. They participate in the things that really contribute to oppressing us in one way, shape, or form. And to take it a step further, if we're going to get a little deeper into it, the background, the origin, where the term coon derived from, historically, it was a very dehumanizing term. So we kind of transformed from the late 1800s to the early 1900s of it being something that was flat out dehumanizing to something where it's just like you are a sellout. So I find that to be really interesting. It's very similar but different the way in which we utilize the term. But if we're going to continue to talk about coons, let's just get into it. We can talk about the utilization of caricatures. As we get into the early 1900s, we are hopping onto the time in which Jim Crow is in full effect. Caricatures around that time were one of the many mediums that you were able to utilize in order to disrespect black or marginalized people. So the coon caricature in particular is one of the most insulting of all of the anti-black caricatures. The name in itself really is an abbreviation of the word raccoon, again touching on how dehumanizing it is to correlate black people to animals consistently. But the coon at that time was portrayed as a lazy, easily frightened and manipulated, a chronically idle person, a lot of time to waste, just really stupid, inarticulate, and a buffoon, to be quite frank. And again, keep in mind these differences and how we talk about it present day. Now, present day, no one would correlate a coon to someone who is lazy, because oftentimes you are overworked by quote unquote tap dancing for the white man or for the massa or whatever the hell you are a slave to. So I just wanted to point out those differences in the times and the way in which we utilize and understand the term coon. But make no mistake, in the late 1800s, in the early 1900s, it was a term to flat out degrade you. That was the point. They wanted to degrade you. They wanted to refer to you as animalistic and uncouth, incapable and incompetent. And the use of the term has really transformed and evolved over time. So I'm gonna touch on that in a second, and then I want to hear from you as far as the evolution of the term coon over time. Be sure to comment down below. Now, at this time, late 1800s, early 1900s, coon was a self-demeaning, literal servant of white people. Like, that was the definition at that time. You willfully degrade yourself and depreciate your worth and your value as a living Black person. You are happy with lending a helping hand to slap Blacks in the face. And I mean that literally and figuratively at that time. So if you were a coon back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, you were defined as helping to serve anti-Black people in their need for oppression and slavery. Why was it convenient, and why were they able to capitalize off of enslaving us, right? Oppressing us became a commodity. Holding Black people hostage physically and even mentally, that ultimately became something that generated profit. Black bodies and Black minds could be bought, they could be packaged, they could be sold. So, historically, there have been many things at play to dismantle our strong suits as Black people and people of color. And there have been times in history when we, as a people, were a lot more unified. We were a lot more informed and equipped with the knowledge that we needed in order to thrive rather than just survive or get by. Black households and social movements or units or groups and the initiatives that we had to implement progressive change and steps towards Black liberation. And so with those consistent attacks on our strengths and strong suits, unfortunately, there was some success in dismantling those areas in which we did so well in. With the decline of unity and knowledge, non-Black people were able to capitalize off of the absence of those things. It then became a way of life to capitalize on our dismantled strong suits. And it was an unfair advantage. I mean, I think that that's pretty safe to say. It's not even debatable. But even quote unquote coons at that time, they were able to capitalize off of aligning themselves with people who oppress Blacks by getting benefits or access to a few quote unquote perks or aspects of life that were seen as a notch above, or not quite as degrading as the other Blacks and what they're experiencing, the other Blacks who weren't in their position to coon, either because it wasn't offered, they couldn't, or they didn't want to. But again, a coon back in that time, their alignment lends to and makes it easier for these systems and these people to slap us in the face and oppress us. And I mean physical beatings and lashings and slaps, and I mean metaphorical ones as well. So that was a quick deep dive into the history, and that was very brief because we can go a lot deeper, but I just kept it pretty surface level for the most part. But I want to know how you apply if you use the term coon, or how you interpret the word coon as it is used today in comparison to its origin back in the late 1800s and the early 1900s. Now, in conclusion, because if we're going to get into Kanye West, that can be exhausting, but like I said, I like to use creating commentary on Kanye West and his antics as a way to segue and connect to a more interesting and necessary dialogue about the intersection of past and present day times. Now, the reason why dialogues like this are so important to me and for me when I stumble across ones that aren't created by myself, they are necessary for reasons such as the following. You may be familiar with this Black man who's just always out, look like a dancing bodybuilder machine, but Black black people, we don't find what he does funny, especially considering how he named himself the dancing or the grooving gorilla. Now, he just recently changed his name because at his big age as a black man, he did not understand the issue with embracing and demeaning himself by considering himself to be a dancing gorilla, something correlated to an animal as he entertains non-black people. Because that style of dancing, that form of entertainment, it wasn't for us. We wasn't feeling it. We don't find it funny. We still don't find it funny at black people. That is only entertaining to white people, which can so easily be drawn into the idea of quote unquote tap dancing. It's just that he's break dancing to hypno beats and things like that, and it's just cringy. Take a look at this video. He just recently changed his name, but this is the reason why dialogues like this are so important.
Hey, what's up? What's up? I just want to make an announcement that I will be changing my name from Groovin' Gorilla to Big Groove. You know, branding wise, I like to spread positivity and joy, and there's a lot of people that feel sensitive to the word gorilla. I just use it as a way, to brand myself because like I'm massive, I like to dance, and I love gorillas. But due to the history, it's just like, there's a lot of sensitivity in that word gorilla or monkey, etc. So I'm going to change my name and just continue spreading that joy. You feel me?
But anyway, my love for Black history clearly is hanging all the way out. I've always had a deep interest in Black history, and I think that the keys to the future are in the past by way of re-examining and studying history, how and why things worked and why they didn't work. There's nothing new under the sun. So I think if we take time to dig back in the crates of history and seeing what we can learn, what lessons we may have overlooked through the evolution of time, we might be on our way. But anyway, as you can see, I'm heavily invested in Black history and really pumping out Black news. So what I need from you is to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to tap subscribe so that you never miss a video, and ding that notification bell so that you're notified each and every time I post some Black news. Okay, y'all know things are always sticky in Hollywood and in real life. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you rocking with me. Trust and believe it does not go unnoticed. So I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. I will be going live later on today to break down some of Kanye West's antics and a few fallacies that I found that have actually been sliding under the radar, because Kanye West says so much mumbo jumbo that nobody bothers to keep up with it. And the ways that Kanye spits out his thoughts, it's really like a big unorganized clusterfuck and a tangled up rant full of victimization. So anyway, I look forward to seeing y'all in the live stream later on today. Be sure to share this video via Twitter, text message, or even Facebook. However it is that you share videos, make sure you share it with somebody. And y'all make sure to stay beautiful, Black, and blessed. Until the next time, deuces.
thePLAINESTjane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I loves me some Black, and she said loves me some Black news. She says, is it just me, or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out?
But that's it. If you want to catch more of my commentary on Black culture or vital and trending information, be sure to subscribe by hitting that little circle in the middle of the screen, or I'll catch you in one of these rectangles to the right in another video. I'll see you there.